Good morning, everybody, and good evening over there in the Czech Republic. Today, I have Nikola here with Smartsupp. And without further ado, we'd love if you can introduce yourself and your company over there.
Hey everyone. My name is Nikola. I'm a CMO at Smartsupp. At Smartsupp, we do provide solutions for businesses to keep their customers happier, to sell them more and easier, especially with the AI era. More technically, it's a customer engagement platform that combines live chat, chatbots, and AI in one suite that is pretty powerful for smaller to medium businesses to increase their sales and customer loyalty. I hope that was okay.
Pretty good elevator pitch, right on point. So yeah, I guess how'd you get to this point in your career? What led you to join this company, and what have you done in the past that kind of got you here today?
Yeah, I am a marketer by education. I finished my bachelor's in marketing for a long century ago. When I was studying it, it was called e-marketing. And then I was actually on Odesk. I think now it's called Upwork. I was writing SEO articles for $3 a piece. Like this was a long time ago. And with this process, I got introduced to marketing and like B2B side of it and so on. Like education is completely disconnected from real marketing, what we do. And sooner or later, right after my master studies here, I got a job at a company to coordinate digital marketing efforts. And that was 11 years ago now. And I stayed in marketing ever since. Of course, building some tools, solutions in the time, but also joining multiple different companies across different industries, leading marketing always in marketing efforts. Everything I did was marketing mainly.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? A lot of times, like what you even learn in school, like doesn't really match like what you learn actually in the field, actually putting your hands on it, doing the actual work. If you're actually in the field, you're going to learn about all the new tools at a much quicker pace and get everything hands-on. I always say school's like always like 5 to 10 years behind. It's once it's like a proven fact for how marketing works. When I was going to school, SEO was kind of like a new thing, but everybody was actually using it. But in school, like they didn't even have for it,
Yeah, especially I think marketing and digital marketing specifically, it kind of boomed, for the past 15 years and still developing in a sense that there's no way academia can easily catch up, like to understand, to analyze and evaluate, like even just testing ad formats in academia is a big endeavor because you need to have all the data points connecting and so on, let alone discovering new channels or new ways how people actually purchase stuff. Arguably, 15 years ago, it was unimaginable that you will have mobile phones that you'll be able to purchase on. Something you see on Instagram and have like this instant gratification of purchasing. I don't think anyone foresaw this, especially not in academia. And it's a changing.
Oh, every day. Yeah. Especially with AI tools now, there's like an AI tool for everything these days. So you gotta really stay on top of it. I guess what attracted you to marketing and what made you kind of stick with that path?
To be honest, I think marketing is one of those disciplines that allows you to be creative, but also, especially in digital and technological sense, a bit techie on the techie side. I'm more on the techie side. I'm not as creative as I would like, even though I try to be better every day. But it is one of those disciplines that is super broad, that it, from our perspective, gives a lot of different roles and functions you can try on, but definitely it's a really dynamic place, if I may. Like I don't know, first time or even now, I still have the same feeling whenever I send an email out and I see people engaging with it. It's such a kind of interesting feeling for me to see that people engage with something you write, you create, and especially if you're like have a part of a bigger campaign, it's always inspirational and motivational for me. Not sure if anyone else has this feeling in them, but I always do, and it's always fun, especially now from this CMO perspective, is if we see that our marketing activities are bringing enough business to the company and the funnel looks amazing, the customers are happy, the team is happy, then it's really a thrilling and fulfilling job, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, marketing is really like an end-to-end type thing too, right? A lot of people think it's just advertising, but marketing starts with the product. Even you've had that experience as well too. So making a product that's very ready for the market actually,
Yeah.
and then getting to the point to where you actually bring it out to market, you actually get the early results. You see, get that customer feedback, roll it out, and see the results of that feedback being implemented, and you get to see that whole journey all the way through, and it's really exciting to see that.
Yeah. How did you end up in marketing? What did you do to get there?
Oh, geez. Well, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do in college, actually. So for me, I was going to school. I thought I wanted to be a doctor, and I'm like, I was doing chemistry, and I'm like, I was good at it, but I'm like, this is really boring. I get the foundational fundamentals of, how it works, but it wasn't exciting for me. So for me, I was doing, I got involved in doing events. So I was hosting events on the weekend, and, really realized that I just liked people, and, what I was doing there was marketing. So I was just, using different marketing channels at the time with social media just coming out, and, found my path that way, and realized that I was, into marketing, and changed my career path and started to focus on marketing in school. Got out, started a social media agency, and kind of went from there. But yeah, sometimes you don't really know unless you try something, and then you realize that that's actually something that you might actually like.
Yeah. I feel like there's many similar stories in marketing. Like people just discovering some aspect of it that is actually mind blowing, and people just stick with it, and it's fine. Like it's the more different variety of people we have in the industry, the better, because we ultimately are people and selling to people, even though marketers tend to forget that. So
All the time to do. A lot of people like to build product. they like to build product and bring it to people and say, "Why don't you buy my thing?" It's like, well, you didn't build it for the customer. The customer's always right, as they say, for a reason, because they have the purse strings, and if you don't solve their problem with a good solution, they're not going to give you money for it.
Yeah, the world famous marketing blindness. It's always like
oh, totally. Yeah. And the worst too, like the reason I got into product myself too, have a lot of product experience, is because, I was working with a lot of clients, and I would, have to help them with their problems for marketing, which is, we need more customers. And a lot of times I'd come back to like the fact that their product wasn't really good, or it's like a terrible user experience. And I'm like, well, maybe if you tweak this, or here's what your customers are saying, if you did this, it would make the product a lot easier for me to market and sell. So eventually I just said, you know what, forget it. I'm going to build my own products.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you get that end to end. So I guess we're here to talk about e-commerce marketing too today, actually, and how AI is going to make an impact in it. What are some of the biggest challenges that e-commerce businesses face in 2025?
Yeah, e-commerce is a tough business. Like they're not sure how well you're familiar with it, but definitely it's a low margin business. The margins are really low, so they need to rely a lot of transactions, like getting people to buy stuff, of course. So when it comes to kind of challenges that I see for the industry, it's definitely increasing competitiveness, but not just opening e-shops per se, because open an e-shop these days is pretty easy. If you can imagine, you just spun off a Shopify website, connect some drop shipping inventory, and you have the web shop. But also in the sense that the e-commerce also is kind of getting platformized, like Amazon, Temu. There's one big one, Aukro, in Agro in Europe. They're basically big marketplaces that kind of combine all of these smaller players into one big e-shop marketplace. So beyond just competitiveness, now small e-shops also fight with increased cost of acquisition, advertising. Like everyone shares this increased cost of CPMs on Google Ads and Facebook Ads, while B2B SaaS has some margins, like to spend even more for e-commerce is really tough, because it's they have like a really direct impact on the acquisition and how much people they can actually bring in. Also, a big challenge for them is customer loyalty, because of above reasons mentioned, that indeed there's so much competition and people are discovering different e-shops pretty easy, so they are hopping around. It's, from my perspective, I see it like it's really tough to have someone being loyal to an e-shop, and to get to that stage you need to spend a lot on brand, you need to spend a lot on good products, on price, but most importantly you need to spend a lot on good customer care and customer engagement. And this is basically where Smartsupp come into place. So we do help e-commerce businesses to make better connections with their customers, to make them happier, to answer all these queries and automate a bunch of these things. And one big challenge, of course, for them is also can be seen from a macroeconomics perspective. E-commerce is a consumption-driven industry, of course, directly. So any kind of macroeconomics or supply chain issues are directly reflected, can impact their entire business. So e-commerce is a really tough business, and it's not getting easier for them, let's say, given all the factors. But from my surprise, what I really was surprised to see, like how little these businesses actually kind of care about their customers. And at a minimum these days, you should appreciate every customer that comes in and really make sure that you have like a solid relationship with them. And this is where we come in the picture with the solutions that we are building, basically.
I always say, love your customer like your product, so that's always a good way to go about it. But it's getting very expensive to acquire customers. So that's why it's really important to engage them when they're on site. If you have a lead, somebody's shopping your site, there's a lot of great tools to engage them directly there. Answer any of those big questions. Get the big elephant out of the room right away. Like if you can make them feel comfortable with making the purchase, they're more likely to do it. And then to your part, retention, right? So how do you build customer loyalty, get them to want to come back, or even refer you to other people, because just spending a bunch of money in advertising and then churning customers in and out is not really a good strategy anymore these days.
But what we follow here is a really simple philosophy in my take, but it's a really impactful one. So what we do is basically just allow our customers to be there for their customers 24/7. So if you can imagine, the entire narrative that we are working with is basically that people buy on their own terms, on their own schedule. Like there's no eShop owner that has like one schedule for all customers. No, customers buy on their own schedule, and they will buy when they have a need, when they had the mood for it, they have the money, whatever reason. And at the minimum, when the customer is ready to buy, when they come to your website, it's an expensive traffic, expensive visit. The least you can do is to help them in this purchasing process, in this customer journey, assist them any way you can. Not being there, it has multiple consequences, but the worst, of course, people just leaving without even purchasing. Like there's a huge amount of traffic that comes to e-commerces. They just browse around, check a bit, and then forget about you, that they leave. The tools we are building actually help you to convert some of that traffic, but also help you build a kind of relationship with your customers. Indeed, everything in effect to increase your business and sales on the eShop. Because that's from our perspective a minimum thing that you can do. Like even you as a consumer, when you go somewhere, if you have a question about a product, when I have a question, you better be there when I need that answer, And it's not easy for businesses, especially smaller and medium-sized businesses, to be 24/7 there. Luckily now with technology, we can actually achieve this to a great extent.
Yeah, and that brings me to my next point. AI is obviously going to play a big role in that, helping kind of cover some of those hours that you can't, as a business owner, especially for smaller companies. You might not have the staff to have fully, people running the chat channels all day long. So that's where like tools like AI can come in and be really effective. What are your thoughts on how AI is going to change e-commerce going forward, including how does your platform utilize AI to help these e-commerce businesses run more successfully?
Yeah, so the crux of the topic here is definitely AI will change e-commerces. The change is going to be, it's really transformative. It's really big change, really impactful how this AI can impact the e-commerce and how will it impact from my perspective, how I see it. Of course, I can be wrong about the future. That's a caveat. But I think what we see through the history and just the aspect of this AI-powered technologies is going to be a huge change. I will just give some examples, but before that, I will just invite you and the listeners to think about how e-commerce changed for the past 10, 15 years. So even before internet or web browser applications, it was really tough to imagine that you will go somewhere and buy like from the flyer. Usually purchases were made through a phone or going directly to the retailer and so on. Purchasing online is a revolution on its own. And within this revolution, there are multiple different aspects that happened as well. Some of them would be that there's a web shop that takes that takes inventory and everything from ground up, and even have like a payment gateway. But then you have mobile apps as well. So we saw a trend, people shopping from online apps and mobile phones as well. This is also mind blowing as well on its own. In this sense, what we see now is let's say another evolution of the how people behave is from what we call conversational marketing or conversational selling. This has been a topic for the past years. It's basically that indeed people will feel more easy or feel at ease to purchase through conversations, through chatbots, through live chat, through recommendations. Effectively, this means that when a visitor comes to a website, they can, or even these days, they expect to have a live chat there or something, so they can reach out to the product specialist and ask, hey, does this product does X? Will this product do this? And the specialist answers in the right manner. Of course, that's like almost like a given sale, because you effectively help the person in the process, and you made them comfortable in this process, and the person will purchase, especially if you can sweeten up the deal with some coupon code or something like this.
Yep.
So what we imagine as an e-commerce, definitely, and how AI plays is you can imagine it as just imagine any brick and mortar store, So if you walk in a brick and mortar store, having an assistant there definitely helps, because you can ask someone to give you directions or give you some good sales and stuff like that, even though you like to browse things on your own. This is the same approach we are taking more or less with the e-commerce website. So with AI, how we built our solution is called AI Shopping Assistant. It's basically an assistant that lives in the live chat widget. And what it does is basically recommends you products and help you answer questions about products. So if you go to a website and say, okay, my wife has a birthday coming in 5 days. She likes roses and white chocolate. I have a budget of $100. What can I recommend? What can you recommend me to buy? And our system can do this now. So this is a mind-blowing experience compared to 5 years ago, where you needed to hard code all of these things. Now the AI and LLMs can understand the context, understand the query, and it's our job just to connect with the data, with the product inventory, with the data, and we effectively have an AI shopping assistant that works 24/7, answers 80% of customer queries without a problem, and even recommends products. So basically, this is the AI we are building. It's more connected to this customer engagement and customer satisfaction aspect, where we use AI to help businesses build their own AI shopping assistant, so you can sell and answer questions. But there's also many other use cases of AI in e-commerce, namely search and inventory management as well, or recommendations. So basically, every time you type in something in a search box, that whole thing can be more conversational. It can react better to your input. And with these LLMs, it allows us to understand better how this search will work. Of course, AI can help with personalized content. If you have some kind of idea of your customers through AI and LLMs, you can easily create content just for them, send them personalized emails based on previous purchases, and so on. From my perspective, how I see it is that this AI definitely is transformative in e-commerce, that basically allows for creating of solutions that usually you would need humans to do, like individually, but now you can do at scale. Creating email content, recommending products, answering questions. You needed humans to do this, but now with AI and our solutions, you can do this without a problem. I will just also say that even though AI is transformative for e-commerce, we still believe that kind of hybrid approach is the best. Where you have humans to take care over some queries from the AI shopping assistant, but AI shopping assistant recommending to speak with an agent and so on. We think that AI shopping assistants like Smartsupps is a really enabler of a lot of work that happens, especially after working hours where your team's sleeping. But the best bang for the buck is definitely to have this hybrid approach between humans and AI together. And I think where the industry is going, like this is going to be standard. Like you have AI shopping assistants to cover a lot of queries on their own, but then you have always like a function that will invoke a human to help you out if you have some broader question or something else to ask.
Yep. Do you have any best practices for rolling out AI? Like, is there any way that you could do it wrong? I know a lot of people, some people are, adverse to the whole AI concept. So if you have like a chatbot feature and if you're not clearly communicating that it's artificial intelligence that they're talking with, it could be potentially a bad experience. You guys have like a little disclaimer there, or?
Yeah, we encourage our customers to always mention that whatever they build an AI shopping assistant, that they mention it's AI, so people are aware they're speaking with AI. And of course, there's always this function that AI can uh, ask you, hey, do you want to speak with human or something like this? So it's kind of visible from that perspective as well. But when it comes to other best practices, what this technology now enables us is to build these shopping assistants to be really human-like. So I would definitely encourage everyone to make the AI shopping assistants to have a brand tone, like tone and vocabulary of your business as well. This is something we allow in our platform, but also a big effect of this is that it definitely plays here is, and pardon my French, but shit in, shit out. So if you add shitty data, if you add shitty settings, you will have shitty results. So arguably the really best practice here would be that if you are using some kind of AI tool for whatever purpose, is to really set it up to match your use case and to match your business logic and business context.
Yep. Yeah, that's a great point there. Do you have any examples of brands that have successfully rolled out AI tools, especially with yours?
Yeah, we have definitely on our website, smartsupp.com. You can check some case studies that we have. I will just highlight two here. One is Auto. It's basically they are resellers of used cars, like a marketplace for used cars. And what they did is they use our AI engagement tool. Basically, is if you remember when I talk about how important it is to convert this traffic to people to consume or to discuss products with you, for them. They used our solutions to actually create recommendation personalized pop-up messages that fit the user behavior, which basically means if a user is looking for an SUV, Ford SUVs, for example, or something like this, after they visit the Ford car, our message will pop up, hey, are you interested in Ford SUVs? We have a good deal for you. So everything here is basically done to analyze how they behave, but also to provide contextual nudge, if I may, to say, hey, come here for a talk. Let's have a talk, and then you would it's easier to make a sale, definitely. And they have like huge success with this. They sold like 900 more cars per month using this kind of approach, and we are really happy that this happened. Another use case, completely different industry, different use case is there's an e-commerce that's selling baby clothes, shoes, and so on. For them, effectively, we found out looking into data that the AI not only just helped to sell products and answer questions, but the products that AI helped sold had 30% higher average order value. So the AI managed to sell more quality and more pricey goods. So these kind of two examples are they're on our website. The listeners can check it out, but it's definitely indicative of what kind of use cases these AI tools are really, really, really possible to do with them. And it's really good.
Yeah, eventually we might not even need humans for anything. It would just be AI working with AI. You just tell it what to do. Go find me you know what kind of clothes I like. Go find me some.
That could be like in AI technology now. There are these MCPs. I'm not sure if the audience knows. Is basically a sort of an API calls for these agentic AI thingies. Arguably, yes, every one of us will have its own personalized AI that we can just say, hey, go buy me some clothes or something. You find the best price. I have this much money, and the AI will just go and buy it. I think this is a kind of next step in e-commerce. I think this is some to affect what Alexa intended to do when you think about it. When you have when you have a device that you say, hey, I want to buy this and this, but it was connected just to Amazon. It was kind of buggy experience. But the more people start using AI assistants on their phones, on their PCs, I think it's just going to be natural to say to your AI, hey, go buy me this. I don't want to bother with this. And it will go and buy. And this is definitely happening. We can make a bet when it's going to happen. Maybe maybe 5 years. We can be wrong, of course, but
Yeah.
seems to me, where are we going? That this is not impossible now. It just needs to be built proper user experience. The product needs to be really well built for this, definitely.
And eventually they have stuff like Neuralink where you could just think a thought and get it. That's
Oh
probably
yeah.
when I move to the mountains and I say, as much as I love technology, it's too much for me now.
Yeah, it gets too much crazy. But just think about how this all things crazy looks now from this perspective. Just 10 years ago, all this stuff was unimaginable.
Yep.
If I would come to you 10 years ago and say, hey, we will have a system where you can just put a sentence and prompt, and that prompt can research, build a report, analyze stuff for you, and do not whatever you want, but
Yep.
kind of, let's say, marketing copy, marketing content wise, it can do a lot of things. They would say, no way, this is impossible. No.
Yep, I'd say you're BSing me. Yeah,
Yeah,
AI
exactly.
like 10 years ago when somebody would say, "Oh yeah, we have like an AI thing." I'm like, "No, you have a relatively complex algorithm, but it's not AI."
Yeah, when you think about it, ultimately it's just ones and zeros.
Yep.
Ultimately, but these ones and zeros now allows us to understand the entire inventory of an eShop, understand the purchasing habits, behaviors. So whenever a user has a question, they will just type in and say, "Hey, I need to surprise my wife. What can I get her?" The AI can answer that with great precision and usefulness.
Always a key question.
I
So I
always.
guess failure comes with any professions. Could you tell us about a time you failed and what you learned from it?
Woo! There was one failure that we successfully failed.
I've had
Lauren,
one of those before, one or
yeah,
two.
this was a couple of years back, even before COVID, I think, where we intended to build a marketing chatbot again, but it was kind of more hard-coded chatbot that allowed businesses to manage Google Ads from conversational perspective. And yeah, it failed miserably simply because one of the partners shut down the program, shut down the APIs that we couldn't use more. So my biggest lesson is that definitely you cannot build a business dependent on other people's platforms.
Yeah.
Because you are basically at the mercy of them. So if their policies can change, whatever can change, and it's such a big risk that there's no reason why would you commit to one big platform and build it like this. It's a road to disaster because there are some things that you cannot impact. There's no contract that can save you if they decide to divest for some kind of features that was critical to you. That's it.
Yep. Yeah, I totally agree with you there. Yeah, that's I've had a couple of those experiences as well myself. So it's always good to diversify, right? So even you mentioned like depending on partnerships and stuff like that too. Partnership is just one strategy to kind of get to market,
Yes.
and it's good to have a lot of partners, right? So they can all cumulatively work together.
Yeah, absolutely. It's perfectly fine to have partners. Like having other people help them succeed helps your business succeed as well. It's a undeniable great channel that we can use. But in this sense, in this failure story, the partner was more like it's not just it's a both technological integrator and everything. Like the entire business was super dependent on the
Single
partner.
point of
So
failure. Yeah,
yeah,
never
single
good.
point of failure, yeah, and never worked out and good. But there was other failures as well, but those are like minuscule comparing to this. This was
Yeah,
the biggest lesson.
I'll come over to Europe sometime this summer and we'll have a coffee and we'll share war stories.
Cry.
That's always fun. But so
Yeah.
I guess what's one thing you want customers to take away today and understand about your guys' platform and why they should pick up Smartsupp today and get it rolling with their e-commerce store.
Yeah, so what I think every let's if you consider just for e-commerce businesses out there that they we understand what kind of problems they have, what kind of challenges they have, and from my perspective, again, the minimum thing they can do is be there for their customers whenever their customers demand it. And this is now possible. Like with the tools like Smartsupp, you have live chat, you have AI, you have AI Engage, you have AI Shopping Assistant. We have a plethora of tools that can help you be there for a customer. Getting a customer is expensive. Having them is having them happy is super easy. Should be super easy. You just have to be natural, and you need to be next to them. Having working in this industry, we indeed understand that the path to growth is through this loyalty and engagement. And again, we offer tools for businesses that can achieve this without a problem. When it compares to other tools out there, there's different variation of these tools that we have on the markets. Like Smartsupp is not unique, of course. We all operate in a different kind of niches. But why we are so unique, and you can check this on G2 and Capterra and all of these places where we are one of the leading solutions in the world on this, is that we build this. It's super easy to use. So we haven't focused on super high tech kind of big e-commerces that need some custom built solutions. We are more focused on smaller and medium businesses, which means that we have all the tools that are super easy to plug and play and to get to the value immediately. So for if there's one message I can send and everyone will hear me from the e-commerce world, that indeed you don't need to have you don't need to do all these things alone. There are tools now. There's AI now that can help you. You just need to be, let's say, a bit brave and try to explore them. But of course, smartsupp.com, reach out to us and we will gladly help you. That's it.
Yep. Yeah, and you don't have to be a tech genius either, right? So the key is like simplicity, especially for e-commerce stores. They're small business owners. They're great at maybe their product, or maybe they're not good at all the tech stacks and everything. So just making it turnkey right out of the box is very critical for them.
Yeah, absolutely, and we see this is key, because even though that these solutions are super powerful, making them super easy to build, we see this resonates with the customers a lot. Again, you can check our G2 reviews, and everyone will say, "Hey, this is super easy to use," and it does its thing. So we don't have many bells and whistles that can complicate the contract or anything. Like, it's all PLG driven. You sign up, you understand what you can get, you will get it without a problem, and it will work well, and it will be reliable, and you can definitely build your business on top of it, because we have businesses doing this with us.
Perfect. Well, Nikola, it's been a pleasure talking with you today. Everybody definitely go check them out on their website. It's smartsupp.com. Is that right?
Yeah, smartsupp.com.
Smartsupp.com. And we're also a proud partner of Smartsupp as well. You could pick them up today in the NachoNacho B2B SaaS marketplace. We look forward to a great continued partnership with you, and look forward to meeting you in person someday. Hopefully I'll come out there to Europe, and I love meeting with our partners face to face. So that's always more fun than this. Even though we've had a good time.
We arguably live in the Czech Republic is arguably the best place for beer and wine in the world. Yep. Like this combination, beer definitely. So it's definitely worth a visit for all the beer lovers, and it's a lot of fun.
Well, you're a great marketer. I'm sold. I'm coming. Awesome. All right. Okay. Well, Nikola, it's great chatting with you today, and we look forward to working more with you guys.
Thanks, Andy. Thanks. Enjoy. Thanks, everyone.